What's going on, everybody? This is your guy, Will Cotchery, with another episode of the Sports Binge. I'm so glad you could join me for another episode today. Now, what I want to talk about today real quick is really want to expand on what I was teasing yesterday when I was talking about Drew Brees returning to the Saints for his 20th NFL season. I was talking about what it meant for Teddy Bridgewater and Taysom Hill. And what I teased was that Teddy Bridgewater, there's a lot of teams that are really expected to go after him. Like at one point earlier in the season, it was the Bears. Now it's like the Chargers, whatever the case may be, there's other teams as well. But the team that I was teasing, the team I was referring to was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I know that's not what a lot of people are expecting, but just bear with me. I'm going to tell you why in a few steps.
Now, before I move further, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this and all my videos to spread the word and to spread the reach.
Now, the number one reason why the Buccaneers should consider signing Teddy Bridgewater is familiarity. And what I mean by familiarity is basically just inter-division rivals. You know, Saints and Tampa Bay, obviously since the realignment back in 2002, division arch nemesis, whatever you want to call it. But there's a familiarity because when you play twice a year against the same team, you know, you really get to know a lot of their tendencies, whether win, lose, or draw. It's always going to be competitive matchups, all across the board. Now, when you look at it like this, as far as familiarity is concerned, Teddy Bridgewater, even though he obviously doesn't have the sample size for New Orleans as Drew Brees does, but even in that small portion that he had in 2019, he understands a lot of what the Saints do defensively. Was studying against that defense and practicing against that defense. He could tell some of the coaching staff in Tampa Bay how to prepare against that defense, whether it's Cam Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore, whoever we want to cover, whoever you want to take over the game with. So I think it would behoove Tampa Bay to really consider that first and foremost before anything. Now, the number two reason is personnel. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about the potential marriage between Teddy Bridgewater and Bruce Arians, as we know, is one of the better quarterback whisperers we've ever seen in this time. Whether you go dating back to Ben Roethlisberger, to Andrew Luck, to even Carson Palmer in Arizona. Now, obviously, it hasn't worked out so much with Jameis Winston, but I think Teddy Bridgewater, with his carefulness, with his intelligence with the football, his IQ, he doesn't make nearly the same mistakes as Winston does. I feel like Bruce Arians can get a lot out of him, out of the 27-year-old quarterback who still has a lot to give, even though with his injury history, who still have a lot to give because of how they protect the quarterbacks nowadays. Even though Teddy's 27, he could still play. That's still really young for quarterbacks. So he could still play for another 10 years and still be basically in his prime. Even more so with personnel, you have to look at the roster. You have two Pro Bowl wide receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. You have two B-rated, what I consider B-rated tight ends in O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate. You even have B-rated running backs, Ronald Jones and Peyton Barber, who each had 6 rushing touchdowns on the ground last year. So you really have pieces all over the board that Teddy can use to his disposal. He doesn't have to carry the team per se. He can depend on the passing game. He can depend on the running game for the Tampa Bay offense to be successful. Last but not least, look at the history. Buccaneers fans, I have a question for you. Who was the last quarterback to take your team to the playoffs? Think about it. I got the answer for you. Jeff Garcia, who just so happened to be an unrestricted free agent quarterback who signed with the team. Teddy Bridgewater is also an unrestricted free agent quarterback. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. So that was back in 2007. And if we know anything about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're at their best when they have veteran quarterbacks. Think back to 2002 with Brad Johnson. Now, yes, they had a historically great defense, but Brad Johnson did make the Pro Bowl that year. Jeff Garcia did make the Pro Bowl in 2007. They just at their best with veteran quarterbacks. So Teddy Bridgewater also, he's a younger veteran, but a veteran nonetheless. So think about it. Think about it. But that's it. That's all, guys. I just want to really, this is what I was really teasing. I just want to touch base with you guys real quick on that topic. So this is something to think about. Now, I know you see this Deuce McAllister Saints jersey in the background, but this is not about me. This is about Tampa Bay. This is about you. This is about you guys. Well, hope you guys have a blessed day, and thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this and all my videos to share the word and spread the reach. You guys have a wonderful day and be blessed.